She who thrives. Phoenix rising. The true me. The ups and downs crazy in life. So take this journey with me. She who thrives. Yeah. Good morning, sunshines, and welcome to the podcast, She Who Thrives, a podcast about women who have faced different adversities in life and made it and became successful in their own right. And today we have a special guest. Her name is Cristina Arroyo, right? Yeah. You know what it is? Because my sister and I, we always refer you by holistic.
Oh, yeah.
So we always say holistic. But yes, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Of course.
This is so cool.
So when I first talk with people, I always try to feel them out and see if I want to bring them on. Mm-hmm. And because this podcast, like I said, is about women, going through so many things in life and then still trying to succeed either in business as an entrepreneur or working for somebody else or whatever it is. And you have been doing a lot with
a whole lot. My plate is like Thanksgiving plate, like so many different things on top.
So while I was reading your bio, I don't read from this. Mm-hmm. I mean, I read so that way I know more about you, but I don't say it out there. So I let you do that. But it was interesting to read a few of these things that I didn't know. Mm-hmm. So we're going to talk about a few of them. And I know you said that there's nothing off the table.
Yep. We can talk about anything.
Cool.
I hope I don't regret that.
Oh, no. So tell me about yourself.
Okay. Whenever I get asked that question, I'm like, oh my God, where do I start? Because I feel like I'm one of those like multi-passionate people. Yeah. Like I have so many different things going on and so many different times. So where do I start? So first of all, I'm a nurse practitioner. We'll start there. That's kind of like the center of everything. I'm a nurse practitioner. I work as a nurse practitioner entrepreneur / in a clinic. So I work for somebody and I work for myself. What else? I own a business. Let me start from the beginning. I had an IV hydration business and I'm currently at a phase where I'm transitioning. Mm-hmm. So you caught me at a good time to kind of talk about it. I consider myself a nurse mentor, a nurse coach. I know that's like the trend lately is like coaching and mentoring. Yeah. And I actually don't even like those words, but I just don't know what else.
Well, there's a difference between the words though.
Is there?
There's mentoring is when you have the experience behind it. Okay. And coaching, or usually they coach you through it, but they don't necessarily have that one-on-one. I mean, they didn't experience those things. Don't kill me if I got that wrong, but this is what they explained to me. Where
that makes
we're
sense.
More mentors because we've experienced it as opposed to just being a coach.
Okay, so then I'm a mentor. A nurse mentor. I have taught over 100 nurses how to start their own IV hydration business. I have done classes in Miami, Tampa, Orlando. Now I'm playing with the virtual field to see how I can do that. And it's something that I'm truly very passionate about because when I started my business, I had no idea what I was doing. Yeah. When you go to nursing school, you're taught how to save a life. You're not taught anything about a business plan or how to do anything marketing. So I had to really like dig in and teach myself everything. I started my business during COVID because I had gotten my hours cut at the clinic that I was working at. Mm-hmm. And the reason why they cut my hours, because you may think, oh, if you're in health, medical field, why would they cut your hours during COVID? If anything, you would be working more. Mm-hmm. So in 2018, I was diagnosed with a cancer called neuroendocrine cancer. And I'm sure a lot of people don't know what that is. I had no idea what that was.
I looked it up and I still don't understand it.
So you know what? I still don't even really understand it myself.
Okay.
All I know is that they found these tumors on my liver that originated in my small intestine. Mm-hmm. And that he said I probably have had it for years. Okay. No symptoms, anything like that. It was like an incidental finding. I'm sure we'll talk more about that later on. But bottom line, because I had this condition, I was going through chemotherapy at the time. My employers didn't want me to get sick. So that's why they cut my hours.
Okay.
Meanwhile, I was probably the healthiest one in that place. I was never sick or anything like that. So I had all this extra time. I'm like, well, I'm going to start a business. And I started my IV hydration business from my car. My car was breaking down at every home that I would go do a drip. I would go to somebody's home and leave my car running, leave the keys, leave the car running because I knew it would die. It wouldn't turn on if I would come back down. I would do the service and be like, oh, please let my car still be there when I get downstairs. I would go to the next house and repeat the process. So I did that for like a good 6 months until I landed in a location.
But you forgot a story there.
Which one? Because I have a lot of stories.
That your car did.
That it did break down?
That it did break down.
A couple of times. They wouldn't turn. I would have to beg my clients, can you help me jumpstart my car? One time I caught a flat tire. It was like so many things were trying to keep me from getting to the next house. To the point where I said, I'm going to leave the car running. This way I'm on time for my people. So yes, thank you. I try to block that out.
You know what is good? I like for things like that to be displayed because there's a lot of entrepreneurs out there that don't realize many other people struggle, especially in the beginning. So it's always great for you to say those stories because it made you stronger, actually.
Girl, yes. I was out stuck on I-4 for 08, you name it, I was there stuck. So anyway, I landed in a location at Desnu Aesthetics in Winter Park, and it was amazing experience there with all of the girls. We became a whole family. I was able to grow my clientele. I was there for 3 years. And now, so leading back to the original part of what I was saying, I'm going to be transitioning into the mentorship part of my business. I've been doing services. I've been starting IVs since like 2008. So that's just something that comes naturally to me. It's like being a robot, starting an IV, but mentoring the nurses and doing the classes and then seeing them start their business. And some of them are even teaching classes themselves now. For me, that is more gratifying than putting an IV in somebody. And I love to teach. I love to talk. So hopefully I don't over talk on that. I love to teach and I love to just help other people because I did not have that help. I had to do all of the groundwork myself, which is fine. So I'm going to continue doing these classes. I'm going to continue working in my role as a nurse practitioner at a clinic. And I also teach at a nursing college. So the common denominator in all of that is like the teaching, the guiding and the mentorship. So I help nursing students, I help nurses and nurse practitioners, and then I help people at the clinic. So
you're always helping.
I'm always helping, helping others.
So what made you want to become a nurse practitioner?
So growing up, I always wanted to be a teacher.
Okay.
I wanted nothing to do with the medical field or anything like that. My mom is an LPN. She's a nurse. And she used to say, don't get into nursing. It's physical work. It's a lot of work. It's very exhausting. Do something else. And then one day, I feel like nursing found me because I had no desire to do it. One day when I was going to, apply for college, I said, I'm going to apply for the nursing program. So I did it. It was very random. I say it found me. And then I went to the advisor. I went to college here. After I left New York, I moved to Florida. I went to UCF. And I remember I sat down with the advisor and she told me, you shouldn't do the nursing program. You're probably not going to do well.
What?
Yeah.
What was her reasoning behind that?
I don't know. It was only my first semester of college, so there was nothing for her to go off of.
Yeah.
I don't know. I always kind of struggled in school with learning because I am all over the place. So for me to focus was very, very challenging for me. I remember I did not get good scores on the SATs to go to college. I always had a hard time with test anxiety and I knew the material. But when it came time to deliver on a test, I couldn't do it.
I'm the same way.
Right.
Yeah.
So I don't know if she was going based off of looking at my records. She said, you shouldn't do this program. It's not for you. You're probably not going to do well. And I said, oh, bet. Okay. I applied. I got into the program. And granted, I struggled. It was very hard for me. In fact, I actually failed out of the nursing program after my second term. And I always remember that lady telling me, this isn't for you. And I said, maybe she's right. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to reapply. So I petitioned to go back into the nursing program. I got back in. I finished it out. I graduated. And so, when somebody tells you, oh, you can't do something,
you need to do
it's
everything
I'm
to
gonna
prove
do it
you're
10
wrong,
times.
right? Yeah.
Yeah. And same thing when I was doing Nurse Practitioner. Again, I always had a hard time with school. I failed out of that as well. Same thing. I said, you know what? I'm just going to go back and repetition. I petitioned, got back into the program, finished it out. So I feel like every time I set out to do something, I, take a couple of steps back, but I always come back. Like I always rise back up.
Mm-hmm. Maybe you need that step. So you hit that rock bottom and then and then come back. Yeah. But there's a lot of people, they learn differently.
Yes.
I have this whole thing that I do not like how the education system is, because we have this, they go from 7 to 2 or 8 to 3, whatever it is. And it's like you're teaching all these kids to be robots. I couldn't stay still in class. Right. I mean, I would sit in my chair, but I was always moving or I was always daydreaming.
Same.
And I know I was reading how females, their ADHD comes off differently than a boy. A boy's more active and all over the place, where girls are daydreamers.
Yes.
I was like, I've never been diagnosed. I never asked a doctor about it or anything, but it's like, that's me. Because I was always I still daydream right now.
Me too. Like when you're driving, I posted something the other day on my Instagram. When you're driving and you get somewhere and you're like, I don't remember that drive. Like, how did I get here? But so speaking about ADHD, I've never publicly talked about it that much, but I did get evaluated. Because I got evaluated when I started my business, because I knew that it was going to require a different type of focus than working for a job where you're task oriented, you have supervision. And I said, oh my God, I know that I need to focus. I need to be organized. I am not an organized person. I'm not. But my chaos is understood by me. It works for me. So I did get evaluated, and they confirmed that I did have ADHD and anxiety. I mean, who doesn't have anxiety? I don't know a single person that doesn't. Mm-hmm. So I did get diagnosed, and I did try medication. But after 3 weeks, I was like, I can't do this anymore.
They say that it numbs you.
It didn't numb me. I was extra stimulated, overstimulated, to the point that I felt like I was having an outer body experiencing watching myself run back and forth and do all of my things. I was getting a lot of stuff done. Don't get me wrong. I was getting it done, girl. I was like, I don't want to live like that. So I haven't been on medication for 2 years or anything. Okay. And the way that I practice being mindful is I'm a reader. I love to read. So when I do audiobooks on purpose to kind of train my brain to focus on the listening.
Oh, you know what they told me to do the audiobooks plus read the book at the same time.
Oh, okay.
I haven't tried that, but they said to do that, especially when your mind wanders off a lot, that it's a good way to keep track, because you're listening, but you're looking at the words.
Interesting. Yeah, no, I'm on the road a lot. I'm in the car. So that's when I listen to the books. And that's how I fall asleep, is listening to a book. And I just try to practice being mindful. I park my car, I go to Publix, I come out, I'm like, where did I park the car?
I thought that was just forgetfulness, just randomly.
And I'm like, be mindful. Remember where you park the car and be mindful. Little things like that. I just trying to work on it myself. And I have therapy as well.
Okay.
So, doing
so there's therapy for ADHD?
Well, just kind of to work through different situations that may exacerbate it. With the anxiety and whatnot.
Gotcha. You don't take anything naturally for it?
So I have tried lemon balm. I really like lemon balm. Ashwagandha is good. I've done different teas and tinctures. There's an herbal store down on the east side that has, it's actually run by witches. And they,
where is this
on Colonial and Econ. Leaves and Roots.
Leaves and Roots. I've never seen that.
You have to go. Everything is herbal.
Okay.
Natural, holistic stuff.
Desiree, write that down.
Yeah. Yes. You will absolutely love it. I always say that's my pharmacy. And they have everything holistic. I like dandelion root, lemon balm, like I said, ashwagandha. They blend different things. So they have different mixes for hair, skin, and nails, for digestion, anxiety, whatever it is.
Oh, I gotta go check them out, because I have PCOS that I've told you that, and I try to stay away from the pharmaceuticals, right? Because to me, it just makes it worse for me. So I try to do everything natural, but that's a cool one, because I want to go there. I want to go try that.
They have a female hormone mix.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I told you earlier that I kind of was thrown off today. I had to go get blood work done.
Okay.
And blood work, of course, they have in their testosterone level because of my whole PCOS. But I'm seeing the whole list of everything they're testing me for. And it kind of like threw me off for today. Right. And I'm like, I got to get it together. I got these recordings. Right. But it's like it throws you off. Of course. Going through these medical situations, because I haven't said anything to anyone, but I have a lump behind my head right here. So they did a CT scan the other day, and then doing these blood works is for that, plus my PCOS and all of that stuff or whatever. So me going through it just for these few days
has thrown me off.
So I can only imagine you going through, what is it? NET is how you say it?
So neuroendocrine. So it's funny. When I was diagnosed with that, I was in the car on the phone driving back to work on my lunch break. My doctor called me and said it's malignant neuroendocrine. And I was like, okay, thank you for the call. You know, he gave me the next steps. I had to do all the, the other stuff. So when he hung up, I went back to work like nothing. And I was like, something is wrong with me, because I feel like a normal person would have like cried and I never shed a tear about it. Yeah. So that's another reason I went to therapy, because I was like, am I like numb or cold? Do I have a heart? Like what's like what's wrong with me? But I'm very like solution driven. So I was more like researching, like, what do I need to do?
Yeah.
And I was so lost in trying to find out what do I need to do that I neglected me in that process. I never like grieved it. I never felt sorry for myself. I would get upset if somebody would say, I'm so sorry. That would like irritate me. Are we allowed to curse here? Because sometimes,
yes, okay, be yourself.
I was like, that would piss me off when they would say, I'm so sorry. Is there anything I could do? Because I was like, I'm a normal person. Yeah. I don't like that pena, pity or anything like that. So when I started doing therapy, she was just trying to help me like be vulnerable. It's very difficult for me to be vulnerable. I'm sure you can relate, coming from like a background where my dad always used to tell me, you're not allowed to cry. You have to be tough. We don't cry around here. And I must have took that to heart, because like I really don't cry. I really don't get emotional. Yeah. But I want to be like a soft girl. We weren't allowed to. So now I'm in this phase of my life where I want to be vulnerable. I want to be a little bit softer. That's why I get everything pink. To try to tap into my feminine energy, so I'm not neglecting that portion of myself.
I think I gone through the same thing with, after my divorce is when I started to try to tap into my feminine energy. And it's now that I'm playing with hair, so this is the first time you see my hair like this. So I was like, this is not what I was going for, but it's working.
It's cute.
Makeup, I'm in my 40s. I didn't do it in my 30s. If I did, it was just mascara and lip gloss. That was it. Now I'm doing more makeup stuff. Yeah. I'm doing my nails. I have to say I've done it. Don't mind me. I was trying to hide them, but whatever. I go for a fill tomorrow. But I try to be within that feminine energy. Right. And after me healing, because I wrote a book.
Yes.
And after that book, that healing was, I tell everybody, now I've become like a baby cry.
Right.
But it's because now I'm feeling, it's good. Yeah. Now I'm feeling certain emotions that it's like, I ask myself, should I be feeling that?
Right.
Should I be crying? Am I overreacting? And then I kind of like get it together. Like, Janell, you can't, being a business owner, sometimes you just can't be in that emotions right then and there, because you have to keep on. I got employees to deal with. I got clients to deal with. So I can't do the emotions. How are you doing that now? Are you letting yourself grieve that? Because I know you are dealing with it again now.
Yeah. I am more balanced now with my emotions, definitely. When something is going on with me, I tend to shut down and then keep moving and keep myself busy. So
because you don't feel like someone can help you with it.
Right.
Yeah. You self-isolate. Yeah.
Yes. So I keep myself busy from sunrise to sunset, literally.
That's not a good
thing. I know, but I'm getting a lot better with it. Now that I'm transitioning my business, that means I will have weekends available because I was at the spa every Saturday. So I'm working 6 days a week, and I was like, why am I always in a bad mood? Why am I always tired? And it's because I wasn't resting. I wasn't honoring myself. And my therapist said something to me. What did she say? You don't have to earn rest. You know, you need to be resting. And she was like, you need to remember that you can still make money even if you are not actively working.
Yeah.
So I would write that down whenever I felt like I needed to be productive and do something. So I'm working a lot more. I'm being more balanced. I'm going for walks now with the dog. And that helps me like be grounded and deal with you think, when you go on those long walks, you start thinking about stuff and you start rationalizing. I started going to church. I go to church every Sunday now. And that has been a big part of me also kind of like acknowledging my feelings and allowing myself to be vulnerable. Doing this transition from my business wasn't an easy decision because, again, I've been doing it for 3 years. I love my clients, and I almost felt like a failure. I almost felt like I was letting them down.
I get it.
But I had to remind myself, like, I'm just pivoting. That's all. I'm just turning a new leaf.
You're just paying attention to yourself. If you're not taking care of yourself, if you don't take care of yourself, you can't take care of anybody else.
Absolutely.
So sometimes we outgrow spaces. And sometimes we go in a different direction that we didn't expect to be going.
Right.
And it's a good thing. It's not bad. It's not that you're failing at anything.
Yeah.
It's just you don't know what your purpose is. And your purpose might be just teaching a lot more and mentoring. Right. So don't let that hold you back. Don't ever think that you're I get it because when certain things happen, I'm like, damn, I messed up. I failed something. But then it's like, no, hell no.
Right.
I get back on that saddle and keep it moving.
Yeah. And you don't want to let people down because I have clients that were like, oh, I wanted to come in for this in March. And I'm like, I'm not going to be there, Yeah. So, but I have to put myself first. I have to. And what my vision is first. So I'm currently in that process. Again, like I said, I've been going to church. I started doing Pilates. And that was the other thing is that I've been weightlifting for like 10 years. And that's a very aggressive like type of activity.
That masculine energy.
So now I have like this carpal tunnel pinched nerve. And I'm like, okay, God, I get it. You don't want me to be aggressive. Okay, so I haven't been lifting weights. And honestly, that's been very helpful for me and my demeanor as well, because I'm not like being intense or like strict about certain things. And I found myself when I got that diagnosis, you can't really do anything but what the doctor tells you, the treatments and what have you. I was going to the gym probably more than I should. And I think that was my way of treating my body. Since I don't have control over the situation, that was me taking control of whatever I can control with my health, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So now I'm like way more relaxed. I maybe go to the gym twice a week, if that. Going for walks, going to church, hanging out with friends more. I was not doing that. So you have a
social life now.
I'm trying. Tomorrow, I'm going out to dinner. I'm like, we'll see how that goes.
So you're not with the girly girls. You don't.
I'm not like, I'm a homebody.
Yeah.
I will always be 9 out of 10 times on a Friday night, I'm home.
Yeah.
But I'm going out tomorrow with some friends. I'm like, okay, that's good. I need to be outside. I need to be around other people, conversating with other people other than my dog. So
do you have any kids?
I don't have any children. I just have my little
your fur baby. What type of fur baby is it?
So I'm not 100% sure, but based on her personality, definitely Chihuahua. She's very feisty. Very feisty. I think she's like a min pin Chiweenie type of thing going on. Yeah, I don't know.
How old is she?
She's gotta be, when I adopted her last year, she's almost 2. She's a toddler. She's like,
she's a baby.
She's a baby. So she's like hyper.
Okay.
And I always laugh because she's up and down, up and down. I'm like, oh my God, your dog is like a reflection of you. And I see.
They say, I can't say, well, I think mine is a reflection of my ex-husband. I swear we had 2. One of mine, the older one, passed away 2 years ago. She was me. She was straight up me. Very antisocial. She didn't like affection. She'll ask for affection when she wanted it, but other than that, do not pick her up. Do not any of that. So it was me completely. Now my Frenchie, that's who I have now. My other one, she passed away. They were together for a long time too. And my Frenchie's just. He doesn't care. He doesn't know his limits. He goes running. Even when he's hurt, that he wants to do anything and everything. Yeah. Like yesterday, he busted my lip. The inside of my lip is busted because of him. Yes. He was just so hyper and wanted to keep on like kissing me. And he does this thing of trying to nibble your face. And when he did that, it was that he did it twice really quick and he hit his head against my lip.
So excited. Do they like the new house?
He loves it.
Yeah.
Yeah. My other one, she's gone. She passed away 2 years ago. But he loves
it.
The beginning, it was kind of he was weirded, like, where were we at or whatever. At the backyard, he's used to me walking him on a leash.
Yeah.
So now I had to actually step out so he can be like, it's okay to come outside. Yeah. Then he does his thing and then he comes darting back into the house. And like, I don't have furniture yet. So the floor, he just slides.
Animals are so funny. They're so smart. It's so crazy.
Yeah. I don't know how I would have done life without him, but it's crazy. But with you being a nurse mentor, an educator, an entrepreneur, working full-time somewhere else, how are you balancing everything? Time management.
So, okay, I bought a planner. I was one of those people, I would buy the planner with the matching markers and the Post-its, and then it would just be sitting there.
I'm guilty of that.
Collecting dust. Mm-hmm. But I bought one recently. I said, no. I'm going to be committed. What is it? What is the phrase? How many days does it take to create a habit? Is it 90 days?
No.
Less than that?
21 days.
21 days. I said, I'm going to create a habit of a to-do list every day. Mm-hmm. And I've been good. I maybe don't do 7 days a week, but I would say I'm doing at least 4 days a week of a to-do list and checking off as I go. I bought like a calendar. So I'm trying to be like organized and on top of my stuff. But it's not easy for me. You know, dealing with ADHD and multiple things going on and just life itself. Life is lifing. It's not easy for anybody, but you know, little baby steps like that. I think just me trying to stay a little bit more organized, being more intentional and more mindful are little baby things to kind of help me balance everything.
So you're balancing with a planner right now. So before it was just you going and you were overwhelmed as heck. I'm sure.
Yeah, 100%. I do a lot of alarms in my phone.
That would drive me insane.
I do alarms. Like today we had a Christmas exchange at the spa, a Secret Santa. And I was like, I don't want to forget the gift. So I set an alarm at the time that I would be leaving as a reminder, okay, grab the gift, bring it with you, don't forget it. And that helps me a lot, believe it or not, are those alarms.
Okay, that's good.
Also getting enough sleep. I try to get at least 8 hours of sleep at night because I feel better and more clear-headed throughout the day to kind of like balance everything.
Do you always go to sleep with reading, listening to a book?
Yes, I have to go to sleep listening to something. Whether I try not to do, I really like listening to true crime and like all that stuff. But I had to stop because I wasn't sleeping.
Right.
And I'm like, oh, no wonder I can't sleep. I'm listening to somebody get murdered. Right. So now I listen to like either like a meditation podcast or a book or something.
I always tell people, look for what is good for you, because there's so many people out there that will tell you, you need to do this, you need to do that, but it doesn't necessarily work for you. And then you get overwhelmed because it wasn't working for you. And then you feel like that failure because it wasn't working for you. So it's like that domino effect. Yes. So I like screw what everybody else says. I may take, pointers of different things, but I do what works for me. Right. So like right now, what I do in the morning is, my routine is making sure Bam Bam is okay. Then I start getting ready and I take my time. I don't rush myself. I try not to rush myself. If I'm rushing, it throws me off. Right. I try not to rush myself and just do what I have to do in the morning. Now I ordered my treadmill. So I'm going to have my treadmill in my house. Nice. So I'm going to be doing my fasted cardio in the morning as part of my morning routine. And then after that, then I get to work probably like 10:30, 11 o'clock, depending. And then I start my day. Then I had to actually do certain things as writing down my to-do list at work, but I try to do it either Saturday or Sunday, so that way throughout the week I know what I have to do, and then I cross it off. But I actually see it physically that I got to do this, I got to call this person, so that to-do list is pretty good for me. But with what's happening with me now with this whole medical stuff, it kind of is like I'm all over the place. I don't know what I'm doing right now.
Right. No,
so I get it. That's like this morning I was just like, I am not feeling myself. I'm gonna go into these recordings and it's just not gonna work. It's just Right. So what other thing? I know you said you did what was that store on Econ and Colonial again?
Leaves and Roots.
Do you do anything else? Have you gone and did anything else, like any like meditation somewhere or?
No, I haven't.
You know what I like? And I think I want to do this like a group thing with several females. And I had someone on here, I think 2 podcasts ago, and she does sound baths. She does yoga sound baths.
I've been wanting to do that. I've been wanting to do that. And the other thing, which is probably like the opposite of that, but I want to do like pole dancing, you know, like something fun. Did you? Oh my God, I want to do something fun and like feminine. Yeah, and I feel like that would just be like, you know.
I started it actually, and I think I said it on the podcast, so you know, forgive me if it's me repeating stuff, but my boyfriend, like, there's nothing I can really buy him. He has to whatever he wants, so it's like it's hard to get him something. So, and I'm not one to give gifts either. Right. I like to create memories. So I was like, you know what? Let me see if I can do this pole dancing, and then I'll perform for him.
That's a good idea.
But because I have body image issues, I was kind of scared. So I was like, I don't know if I can pull this off. But I did it. And it was like, it started to give me some type of like confidence and more of that feminine side. Right. And then I'm like, all right, I can do this. And I started climbing the pole, and I was up there sitting on it, spinning. Hard, right? Yes.
It is not easy.
But because you lift weights, you have an upper hand.
Yeah.
So that's what happened with me. Okay. I have that I'm able, the strength, right? So I was able to pull myself up on there, which a lot of women, when they start, they don't have that strength. Right. But I realized that doing that worked on different muscles that you don't work on when you're lifting weights.
So you were sore, right?
Oh yeah, I was sore. Definitely sore. Definitely. And I was boxing at the same time. Oh my God. So it's like, all right. So then I let boxing go for a minute, and then I was just focusing on because then I was like, okay, I got to look good. I don't want to look stupid in this performance.
Yeah. So how did it go?
It went well. He loved it. He recorded it, and he had it on his phone. I was like, I do not want to see it. I do not want to see that. But yeah, we should do it.
Yes. Let's do it, please. I want to do more fun things like that.
See, I'm not the only one. Like, I thought it was just me with the whole feminine thing. And I don't know, it was maybe because I know you're from New York. You said from Bronx, right?
Yeah, I'm from the Bronx.
So I know it's probably the same thing like Chicago. Rough around the edges.
Yes. And the thing is that people think I'm so girly, because I have a little voice, but I'm really not that feminine. Yeah. Like, I'm really, and I want to be. So yes, let's go.
So you have siblings?
No, I'm the only child.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh wow. Mm-hmm. I have an older brother, and I always say that he turned me into a tomboy, so that's why I'm not really that girly girl. Right. And my boyfriend always tells me that's a guy response. I'm like, what's a girl response then?
Well, my dad wanted a son.
Oh, so you see?
He treated me like a boy.
Yeah.
He would teach me to fight. Like, we would wrestle. He would like throw me around. And I did ballet class when I was little. And I remember at the recital, that was the last day, because all the girls were like dancing this way, and I was the only little girl dancing that way. And I was upset because
this doesn't work for me.
I was like, I wanted to do karate classes. So they forced me to do ballet. And I'm like, no. I'm gonna embarrass you at the recital. And funny. I did like boy things.
See, I was the same way with my brother. Like, I'm a big WWE fan. Oh my God. But that's because of my brother. We would wrestle and do all of this craziness. I mean, I would get hurt because he would hurt me, but he didn't care. Like, I have a scar right in here. I don't know if you can see it, but I always try to hide it. But there's a scar here. I got hit with a bat. My brother hit me with a bat. God. So I have blood gushing down my face, and he's telling me, don't cry. Suck it up. You're okay. And I'm over here. Okay. And blood's going down my face. And when my mom sees me like that, she whooped his ass.
Oh my gosh. That is too funny.
That whole thing of sucking it up, don't cry, you're not supposed to cry. He did it a lot because he didn't want to get in trouble. Right. But I mean, I had stitches in my face somewhere through. That was him. I have stitches down here. Yeah, it was all my brother getting me into things that I shouldn't be getting into. Right. But then I was still doing it. I never learned my lesson.
And now here we are trying to be girly.
Trying to be girly.
Yeah.
But when my boyfriend points out that's a guy response, I be like, man, what's a girl response then? Like, what should a girl say? And I'm starting to be softer with him now, but there's still that I am tough.
Right.
But you're by yourself, right?
Yeah.
I am majority of the time by myself because he doesn't live here. So you still have to protect yourself. You still have to be in that whole
speak up for
masculine.
yourself,
Yeah.
and all of defend yourself. I'm even like protective of other people.
Yeah.
Like if I'm with my mom at the store and somebody like bumps into her, I get like upset. And I'm like,
oh, I don't get to that
I'm
point.
like,
that's a city mentality,
yeah,
though.
I'm like,
because
why
that's
she
how
has
it was.
to bump you for, you know?
Yeah,
that's was an accident.
That's a Chicago. That's a hood thing.
Yeah,
it's a hood thing. I don't act like that. I try to stay away from that. I just, I pay attention to see if anyone acts crazy, but I stay away from areas or stores or anything like that I know that people are like that will provoke it. Like, I tell people I don't go to Walmart. I'm sorry. There's nothing against Walmart itself, but when you go in, it's a different customer service and different type of vibe than it is if you go to Publix. Yes. They were like, oh, well, you pay more at Publix. Yeah, but I'm okay paying more at Publix because it's a peace of mind for me.
Right.
If I go back home, that anxiety increases and then my defenses go back up. Right. And then I have to be that tough Janell. And I don't like to be in that energy because it's hard to balance and teeter-totter between the both. It's just...
Isn't that crazy how like your environment completely takes control of your aura at that moment?
Yep. So it's not... And a lot of people down here, because I've been down here 12 years. So when they meet me, they see me, they don't think that I am from where I'm from.
Right.
So when they hear the music I listen to, they're like, where's this coming from? It's just like, that's just me. That's where I'm from the hood, period. Like it's not that I'm embarrassed of where I'm from or anything. I love where I'm from. Yeah. It's just, it's a different dynamic. And then being a business owner too, and I'm sure you have to deal with it, is you have to set those boundaries, and sometimes you have to be tough with some people because they try to take advantage of you.
Absolutely.
Have you ever experienced that with any of your clientele?
I have, and not only with clientele, but with other business owners as well. Trying to say, just because maybe you've been in business longer than me doesn't mean that I don't know what I'm talking about, or it doesn't mean that you can try to manipulate, also like holding your own in your own industry too is a big deal. I haven't had too many clients give me issues. Every now and then you get like somebody that's a little bit funny that you have to set boundaries for. But that's with anything that you do.
It is. And I try to shine light on that too, because with many people going into business, into entrepreneurship, and then in your role going into IV hydration and things like that, I try to let them know the risk or the issues they can come across so they can, grow that backbone. Right. Fortunately for us, we came from a rough neighborhood, so a rough around the edges, so we know how to defend ourselves. Right. Sometimes these new people, they don't have that experience. Right. So when they first face these issues, they kind of retreat and they're like, I don't want to do that anymore. Like, no, don't face it. Like, okay, take it in. What happened, so that way you can learn from it, and then moving forward, change how you're going to react to that and keep it going. Never stop. Right. Don't let that stop you. Right. Because we all go through it. We all have that customer that didn't like what we did. We all have that customer that may come off like they know more than you do. Right. We are going to have something like that. Right.
No, at my classes, that's one thing that I am not shy to tell the students is, there's going to be days where you are going to be sitting in your room crying because somebody left a bad review, or because somebody, didn't show up to your appointment and you had 3 no-shows in that day. Not taking things personal when you're a business owner, and knowing what battles to pick to fight as well. Yeah, is another one that I think is really important. But I always tell them, don't let these people walk all over you, because they will. They will do that. They're not going to respect, how if you're going to Louis Vuitton and you have an appointment for your shopping, you're going to respect that time. But if you're a small business owner, people are not going to treat you like Louis Vuitton. But you have to set Louis Vuitton standards so that they can be forced to respect you.
I love that analogy.
Yeah. That's what I always, make that comparison. Like, I'm Louis Vuitton too,
Oh, yeah, definitely. You have to hold yourself up to that, because if not, they will smell that.
Yes. Oh, yes.
You say, how they say when a dog can smell fear?
Oh, yeah.
I think these humans can too.
They do. They can smell weakness. Yes. 100%.
So it's like, don't show that. And yeah, just keep it. That boundary, keep your boundaries. If it's no, that's it. Right. I've had people in my industry, it's a lot of people try to test me.
It's male dominated, your industry.
My industry is very male dominated, and they try to test me. And then the thing is, I also look younger than my age. Thankfully, my mother and my dad's genes, but
right, yes.
But sometimes it's a disadvantage for me because when people look at me, they think that I'm not educated, that I don't know what I'm talking about or what I'm doing or whatever. Like, no, I have to sometimes work triple to show you I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm talking about. My age has nothing. But then when I say I'm 43, they're like, what?
Right. And don't you hate when they're like, wow, you look so good. Like, how am I supposed to look?
Right. No. So is IV hydration the only thing that you do?
So I do IV hydration, Botox, and fillers. So aesthetic services.
Okay. And in the classes, is it just the IV hydration?
I just do IV hydration because I recently got into Botox and fillers maybe about 2 years ago. IVs I've been doing for over 10 years. So I want to be an expert at something that I've been doing a long time versus something that I'm still learning and still growing with.
So do you see how big are your classes?
So my very first class, I was terrified. I was like, nobody's going to want to come. I had 8 people show up for the first class. Oh, wow. I had no team, no nothing. It was me and my mom helped me out. Then my second class had 20 people. The next one had 30 people. Then it was like 30, and it was becoming very overwhelming that I actually downsized my classes. I capped them at 12 to 15, just so that everybody has a good experience and they're able to feel comfortable asking questions and getting help from me. So I keep it at 12 to 15.
Do you do more classes now, or?
So I plan on that for 2024. Like I said, I'm playing with the hybrid situation, the virtual versus the in-person. I was traveling. I was going to Tampa, Miami. I did not really enjoy that because I have to bring a lot of 25 IV poles and like tons of supplies. My guest speakers were driving down. Luckily, I have an amazing assistant, and if I need to go to Miami, she comes with me. My best friend, she has nothing to do with my business. If I go to Miami for a class, she's there with me passing out pens or whatever she needs to do. Yeah. I have an amazing support. Some of my closest friends also have IV hydration businesses out of state. They will fly down. They flow down for every single class that I've done. So I have a very good support system, but I don't want to travel for the classes. I feel like I have proven myself that my class is valuable enough that I can do it right here in Orlando.
They'll travel to
and
you
and have them travel to me. Yeah.
If they really want your knowledge, they will travel to you, because every year we have to take certain amount of classes, and there's only a certain amount of organizations that I'll take the classes with. Right. And I will travel to certain states for that. There's sometimes I do virtually, but if I do it virtually, my mind is just all over the place. I don't even pay attention. But I find it more educational for me, for me to actually go to the different states. So I've gone. And it's fun. It is fun. Yeah. But you get to know different people too. It's a tax write-off, right? Yeah. Yep. It is. So have them come to you. Yeah. Have them. It's just easy. I have less anxiety doing it that way because I'm in my own home. I remember one of the classes in Orlando, I didn't have like one of the IV things. Perfect. My friend went to the spa, got what I needed, and there was no issue. Versus if I'm in a different environment, that's a whole stress. So what would you advise someone that's going into your industry? To not let things like competition or fear in general hold you back, right? There's a piece of the pie for everybody. A lot of people are starting aesthetic businesses, med spas, IV hydration, but not everybody is you. Yeah. My clients come to me because they like me. You know, I'm very active on my social media and I show a lot of my personality. So people are like, why don't you hire a nurse to work with you? Because my clients want to come to the girl that they see on Instagram, that they see. I don't have a huge following or anything like that. But, you know, they come and they're like, oh my God, you're the same way on Instagram as you are in person. You know, and I want to have that experience with my clients because they feel like they already know me. So are you only doing it on Instagram? No, I'm on TikTok. Okay. I have a way bigger TikTok following than Instagram. I gotta find you on TikTok. Yeah, it's the Nursepreneur on TikTok. Okay. And I do a lot more on TikTok than Instagram. I think with how you do it on Instagram, because I've seen it, I think that would be so great on TikTok. I haven't seen it on TikTok.
I put a lot of those on TikTok, but I have a lot more fun on TikTok, I feel.
I think there's more interaction on TikTok than there is on Instagram, because I can post a video on TikTok and I get more views, more interactions, more comments on TikTok than I do on Instagram.
Same.
And it's the same exact clip. Yeah. It's just, but 100%. I think it's just a different type of audience.
And the algorithm for Instagram. I have I think 12,000 followers on TikTok, where on Instagram I have
No, I'm nowhere near that.
Well, you know what? I did one video. The first video I did on TikTok went viral, and I didn't know what I was doing, because I find it kind of, it's not user friendly, first of all. So I was just playing with it, and I posted something about B12, and in one day I had 6,000 followers. And I was like, oh my gosh. That's when I saw the value in TikTok over Instagram.
Yeah, no, my first ones were just, I don't know, me playing around. And then recently one of my clips went to 35,000 views and stuff, and 2,000 likes. And I'm like, oh my God, this is cool. Look at what's going on. Because it's usually 1,000 views and then probably 200 likes or whatever. So it's okay, that's cool. Right. So I just keep on and keep on. Yes. I was not one to be all up in, cameras and stuff like that. I was always shied away. So this is something all new for me. So, but I'm a numbers girl. So I look at the analytics. Right. That's what's interesting to me, to see what people like and what they don't like, and see how, but honestly, even if you look at those stats, it still doesn't make sense, because you can do something similar and you won't get the same amount of reactions. So it's driving me crazy, because I haven't figured out the code yet.
Yeah, that's why I don't like Instagram. It's too complicated.
No, but this is TikTok.
Oh, TikTok. I even went on YouTube, how to use TikTok, because I don't think it's that easy. But there's different apps now. I've been playing with it, but I enjoy it more than Instagram.
So wrapping it up.
Yeah, it's already time.
Yeah, it goes pretty quick. Is there anything that you would want to share that we haven't touched on?
Oh my goodness. I feel like we said a lot of things. I just want people to know that if you have a vision, don't let anybody cloud that vision for you. Don't let anybody tell you that you cannot do it. Like the advisor in the college told me, oh, you can't do nursing. If you fall, that's not a failure. Just get back up. But things about me, I think I let everything out, to be honest.
When you look back, you might be like, man, I should have said this. I should have said that. So I'm inviting everybody back, because people tend to, when you're sitting here, you don't realize that you forget. I forget a lot of stuff. Yeah. And then I look back and I even said that. I don't even remember saying that. So for those who are interested to find you, where can they find you? You said TikTok.
So I'm on TikTok. I'm on Instagram. I have Facebook, but I don't really, people don't really use Facebook like that. So I guess Instagram, TikTok, email.
Where on Instagram? What's your handles?
So I have 2 pages. I'm actually going to be I'm changing the name of my business page, and I'm going to be, I'll release that later on. But are you going to put it in show notes?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So my personal is at Cristina with no H _ARNP. And then my business page is at Holistic Energy, but it's with a W. But I'm sure that the spelling will be in the show notes. So you can find me there. And then TikTok is at the Nursepreneur.
Nursepreneur. Okay. I got to look that one. I have to look that one up. All right. But, if you look back at this episode and you would like to put something else on there, you are more than welcome to come back. Just let me know.
I would love to come back. This was fun.
But thank you everyone for tuning in, listening on any podcast platform, watching it on YouTube. Please like, share, subscribe, and review. I'm looking at the reviews so that way I can know what else to put on here, all the topics. So until next time, thank you.
Thank you. Bye.